Welcome, everyone, to Staten Field on the campus of Robert C. Byrd High School for this evening's broadcast of Robert C. Byrd Baseball. Today's matchup is a conference game and rivalry game between the Bridgeport Indians and our Robert C. Byrd Flying Eagles. I am Basil Lucas, and as always, I'm joined by my broadcast partner, former high school coach Ryan Lance. Ryan, this game is more than just a normal game for most of the coaches, players, and even parents. This game will count towards the Big Ten Conference standings, even though Bridgeport beat our Flying Eagles at home a couple weeks ago, 9-6. Ryan, what does this rivalry mean to each community?
Well, Coach, each program is really a representation of each community. And to be honest with you, this rivalry's been pretty one-sided. Until last year, maybe the year before, Coach Hill comes over and just kind of gets things moving. And, you know, they catch them last year. And I know that was a feather in the cap of the RCB program, and probably something that still bugs Coach Robert Shields from Bridgeport.
Well, this makes this a big game because the Big Ten, that game solidified Robert C. Byrd winning the Big Ten championship last year, Coach. And I'm sure Coach Shields has put that in the back of his mind as well. Bridgeport comes in tonight's contest with a 23-4 record and off a 6-5 victory last night against Fairmont Senior. Ryan, what do you expect to see from Robert Shields' Indians?
Coach Shields' program, they're always a fundamental team. They always do the necessary things to win. They do them well. And what they do is they wait for the opponent to make mistakes. And once their opponent makes mistakes, that's where they pounce and begin to pull away. So I would expect the same approach to today's game.
On the home front, the Flying Eagles are coming in tonight's contest with an 18-7 record. The Flying Eagles won their last contest Saturday versus Spring Mills 4-3 at home. Ryan, what do you expect from manager Tanner Hill's Flying Eagles tonight?
Well, like we said earlier, this game really matters to both teams. Both teams are enjoying nice seasons, and it would be a feather in the cap each program for their bragging rights in the county if they could come away with this one.
We'll take a short break, and we'll speak with Coach Manager Tanner Hill. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Batting ninth, the left fielder, Connor Buffington.
Coming off a doubleheader win on
Michael Oliverio is second baseman for the Indians. And now for the home standing, Robert C. Byrd Flying Eagles. Leading off in right field, Kevin Warren.
Got a good, when you come in, you're pumping high 80s.
Batting second,
there's not a whole lot of guys that throw that in the league, so they got to make an adjustment real quick.
Batting third,
Coach, you want to start senior Luke Sperry?
Nicholas George. Batting cleanup, the pitcher, Luke Sperry. Batting in the 5 spot, the shortstop, Nathaniel Junkins.
How do you approach this? It's a big game to the community. It's a big game to
Batting
the players,
sixth,
fans,
the second
coaches.
baseman,
How do you
Braden Thompson.
Well, it's good. It's exciting. It's the kind of baseball you
Batting
want to play,
seventh
especially
and
this time of
playing
year.
left
You want to play the
field,
best and see where you're
Bryce
at. And the way we're approaching it is we're just as good
Batting
as them.
eighth
We're going
at
to see
third base,
who's better in
Rylan
about 10
Rock.
minutes.
Coach, what is your Flying Eagle club going to need to do to win their 19th
And
game of
batting
this
ninth,
season?
the
We're
catcher,
definitely going to have to
Waylon
execute a
Dodd.
good pitching performance and come out ready to play right from the start.
Good luck, Coach.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you'll stand for the national anthem to be sung by
Manager Tanner Hill with his team's keys to victory for today against the Bridgeport Indians.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
right, let's play ball.
Here's today's Robert C. Byrd starting lineup. Batting first and playing right field, Evan Warren. Batting second and playing center field, Tanner Cook. Batting third and playing first base, Nick George. Batting in the cleanup spot and doing the pitching for the Flying Eagles, Luke Sperry. Batting fifth and playing shortstop, Nathaniel Junkins. Batting sixth and playing second base, Braden Thompson. Batting seventh and playing left field, Bryce Bird. Batting eighth and playing third base, Rylan Rock. Batting ninth and catching, Waylon Dodd. Now let us talk today what the keys to victory are. Ryan, what are the Robert C. Byrd keys to victory?
Well, I think Coach Hill's staff, they need to limit the mistakes in the field, need to limit their pitching mistakes. And that means have an approach, have a plan for each for facing each Bridgeport batter, and don't give them the balls that they like to hit. And they have to not make any mistakes when they're batting. Don't swing at bad pitches. Don't try to take pitches, outside pitches and pull them. So they need to have that approach. Number two, they need to get base runners no matter what. I wouldn't anticipate this being a high-scoring contest, so will we see small ball early? We could. And number three, Luke just needs to hit his outside target like he's been all season, kind of force the Indians to hit that pitch. It's a tough pitch for a high school batter to hit well, and if Luke's hitting his spot, he's going to be on today for the Flying Eagles. Coach,
I want to touch on, talk about a little bit of the history with Bridgeport because it really has. It's been incredible what Coach Robert Shields has been able to do in his 35-year tenure as the head coach. That's a trivia question. Who did Robert Shields replace? Did anybody up here know? Who did Robert Shields replace as the coach at Bridgeport High School?
He was coaching Bridgeport when we played, so I can't give you that answer.
Brad Jett. Brad Jett was the head baseball coach.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
So 880 victories later and 9 state championships.
Well, he's just getting his feet wet, huh?
Yeah. Over the course of the last 35 years, he's averaged 25 wins a season, and they're sitting right now at 23-4. So, they've been consistent, and you got to tip your cap to the Indians for what they've been able to do.
It's not by accident, Coach. It's a well-run program.
Leading off for the Indians and playing shortstop, number 2, Cam Cole. Sperry gets a sign from Waylon Dodd. He's in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner for strike one.
Well, that's where Luke needs to live today. Cole, multi-sport athlete for the Indians, one of the leaders of their football program, so I would imagine he's an effective leadoff hitter for them.
Sperry with a pitch, off-speed pitch, low and away for ball one. That's going to even the count. 1-1 strikes on Cam Cole.
Well, when you get that first strike, it gives you the luxury of being able to change locations and change speed. So he tried a little off-speed outside there with Cam, but didn't fool him.
Sperry with the 1-1 pitch. Fastball just outside for ball two.
That's a good spot. Missed it a little low, but it appears Coach Shields has his hitters being pretty disciplined today at the plate. They're not going to chase unnecessary pitches.
2 balls, 1 strike on Cole. Sperry with the pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner for strike 2. Cole, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cole.
Cole thought he had ball 3 in there, but Luke just hit that black and
Waylon Dodd and the Tony Pena crouch. Off-speed pitch inside, jams Cole to Thomason to George for out number 1.
4-3 for the first out.
What a nice pitch by Luke Sperry there, Coach.
Well, and you heard Coach Shields call out to Cam before that pitch, hit it that way. So he knows that that's where Luke's going to try to target his pitches on the outside corner. And Cam did hit it that way. He just got a little on top of it and wasn't able to drive it.
That's going to bring up Ben McDougal, the pitcher. Ben's already signed to play at Potomac State this year and coming off a pretty big victory over the weekend against Wheeling Park. Fast ball by Sperry, just a hair outside for ball 1.
Well, and you see, going from a right-handed hitter to a left-handed hitter, it might affect the pitcher a pitch or two, just to have to readjust.
Fastball by Sperry right on the outside corner, and he paints it again for strike one. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just very, very impressed. Very patient approach by the Indians at the plate today.
Sperry in the windup, and here's the pitch, low and inside for ball 2.
The Flying Eagles definitely have a little bit of a shift going on in the outfield. They're shading McDougal to right field, counting on him to be able to pull this.
2-1 count. Here's the pitch. It's up and away for ball 3. McDougal heading the count.
Rylan Rock off third base. He's pretty much in the hole. So see where McDougal takes a cut at this one.
3 ball, 1 strike pitch. McDougal swinging a miss, and it's fouled back. That'll run the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count on McDougal. Top of the first inning here at Staten Field.
Well, when you have disciplined hitters like the Indians, you're not going to get, 3-pitch innings work. So you're going to have to probably go deeper into the count with a few of these hitters.
Sperry with a payoff pitch. Fouled back. Pretty quick hands by McDougal right there. Pitch was on him, and he was making a decision where it was at, and last second able to get his hands through and foul that ball back.
Yeah, fought it off. Coach, you're right. Fought it off to live another pitch here.
Sperry with a pitch. Off-speed pitch is fouled up and away.
I didn't pay attention to what McDougal's hands were on the first couple pitches, but if you notice right now, he's choked up pretty good. So a lot of times you'll see hitters, when they get 2 strikes, they're going to choke up to get more back control just to be able to fight pitches off.
Luke Sperry with the payoff pitch. Ball's up and away for ball 4.
Very good at bat by McDougal, being patient up there. Luke battled him.
Braden Thompson, number 1.
And we'll have a courtesy runner in for McDougal, who is pitching today.
Courtesy runner for the pitcher, Ryan Hall.
So courtesy runner for the pitcher is number 8, Ryan Hall. That's going to bring up the center fielder, Aiden Paulison. Hall with a pretty aggressive lead right off the bat. Sperry in the stretch. First pitch is high for ball 1 on Paulson.
Well, the Indians, much like the Flying Eagles, are aggressive on the base paths. So might take a pitch or 2 to feel out. Then we might see a little bit of action here on the terms of running.
Curveball blown away. 2 balls, no strikes on Paulson, the number 3 batter for Bridgeport.
That was a great pitch by Sperry. Even a better approach by Paulson, laying off that pitch. I thought it was going to hit the outside corner and just broke off.
Sperry falls behind, 3 balls, no strikes. The flag barely moving in center field right now here at Staten Field. 3 ball, no strike count on Aiden Paulson, the center fielder. Fastball right down the middle for strike 1. And a conservative approach to start the game for the Indians. They've been very patient in the box. They've been quiet on the base pad, just letting the game come to them right now. Sperry with a nice pickoff move to first base.
Yeah.
And Hall's able to get back in safely.
And that's a great observation, Coach. Paulson, one of the best hitters in the Big Ten, 3-0 with a runner on top of the first, and he has the take sign. So they're being conservative with their approach.
Fastball high and away for ball 4.
Base on balls, runners on first and second.
Indians have runners on first and second, 1 out here at the top of the first. It's going to bring up the first baseman, Anthony Dixon.
Now batting.
And,
First
you know, their lineup starts out,
Dixon.
you know, righty, lefty, righty, lefty.
Yeah. Puts a lot of stress on you as a pitcher. See if Luke can battle back here. These free passes are what we were talking about that can lead to bigger innings.
Sperry from the stretch. Fastballs. The outside part of the plate's fouled back for strike one. And that's been the MO for Sperry all year long. He's been able to stay in front of batters, and that's got to be a key today no matter what happens. You can't give these guys free bases. Fastballs drove in left center field. Bryce Bird backs up. He's got a bead on it. He catches it, and he fires it in all the way to third base and prevents the Indians from advancing. So really good play on a sharp hit ball by Anthony Dixon to left field. Bryce Bird falls under it, camps under it, gets position, and gets the ball quickly into third base.
I really thought the runner had a chance to advance on that one, so that was a great job by Bryce camping under it and getting the ball in quickly.
So that's going to bring up the DH, Chris Harbert, number 3, right-handed batter. Sperry on the mound. Gets a sign from Dodd. Here's the pitch.
Nice pitch.
Curveball right on the outside corner for strike one.
Flying Eagles aren't doing much to hold the runner at second. Really, with 2 outs, you really don't want to give up those gaps in the infield.
Harbert's in the box down. No balls, 1 strike. Fastballs hit deep to left field. That's going to be over Evan Warren's head. And it's going to go over the right field fence for a 3-run home run by the DH, Chris Harbert.
To right field by the designated hitter, Chris
Well,
Harbert.
we were talking earlier about if Sperry's how tough it is for a high school hitter when the pitch is outside to take it that way. It was not tough for Harbert on that pitch. He absolutely crushed that ball. You don't see too many well, we haven't so far. We haven't seen too many opposite field home runs on this field. So kudos to him on a well-hit ball. And, man, he puts his team up. Nice margin here in the first inning.
So 3-run home run by the DH, Chris Harbert, and that's going
Next
to
batter,
lead
right
up
fielder, Trent Haynes.
the right fielder, number 6, Trent Haynes. Sperry in the stretch. Here's the pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner for strike one. Second pitch is foul tipped by Trent into Dodd's glove for strike two.
I think he pulled the string on him there a little bit. Got him out in front of that off speed.
Sperry way ahead in the count on Trent. No balls, 2 strikes. Dodd gets a sign. Fastball's high. It's fouled up and away. Trent stays alive.
Well, we were talking earlier, you know, the free passes. It's the difference in a 3-1 game and a 1-0 or 3-0 and 1-0. So, you know, Flying Eagles just have to battle back.
Curve off-speed pitch, fouled in the air or hit in the air to the first baseman, Nick George, for the third out.
George with the putout. The
Indians score 3 runs on 1 hit. Nobody left on base at the end of the first half an inning. Bridgeport 3. Robert C. Byrd coming to bat. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
fielder, number 4.
We're back in Staten Field, to bottom half of the first inning. Flying Eagles coming to bat down 3-0 against the Bridgeport Indians. Familiar face leading off. The right fielder, number 4, Evan Warren. Ben McDougal on the mound, tall left-hander for Bridgeport. He's in the full windup. First pitch is high and outside for ball 1.
First opportunity we've had to see McDougal pitch this season. He's, like you said, has nice velocity, has a nice breaking pitch. And
second pitch is fouled away for strike 1.
watching him in warm-ups, it looks like he has a two-seam fastball that I would imagine versus right-handed hitters, he's going to tail off the plate a little bit on pitches that he'd like to get some swing and misses on.
Counts even on Evan Warren. 1 ball, 1 strike. McDougal in the windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball's fouled away for strike 2. Flying Eagles going to have to make quick decisions up in the box today. Is that
very Randy Johnson-ish is McDougal on the mound.
fastball get on you pretty quick. Heading to count, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Warren. Little conversation between Phil Reed and McDougal. Make sure they're on the same page. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss for Evan Warren. That'll be the first out of the evening for the Flying Eagles.
Yeah, he just started on the outer half and broke it across. And it was a good cut by Evan, but just a great pitch.
Going to bring up the center fielder for Robert C. Byrd, Tanner Cook. Tanner, a multifaceted player. Not only is a really great hitter, but really great center fielder. Covers a lot of ground. First pitch is off speed in there for strike 1.
Same pitch he got Warren at previous pitch, so.
Paulson with a fastball on the outside corner, swinging a miss.
Coach, that's that two-seam we were talking about. He just keeps it on the outer half. Just at the last second, it just breaks off the plate. Tough for a right-handed hitter to get to barrel up on that pitch.
McDougal with the pitch. Fastball's fouled back. Cook stays alive.
And I would imagine McDougal will have the same approach that maybe Sperry had this today in that he wants to stay off the inner half of the plate with these hitters and their quick hands, force them to have to go opposite field.
Fastball outside for ball 1. Dougal heading to count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball's hit up the middle. Cam Cole picks it up, throws it on to first base, and just gets Tanner Cook. Tanner Cook was humping up the first base line, and it took a great play by Cam Cole to get him.
Yeah, Cam got the bounce he wanted on that ground ball, but he was kind of on the edge of the grass, so he had to come up firing and did a good job, and Tanner really got up the line there. So
it's going to bring up the first baseman for the Flying Eagles, Nick George, who's been just tearing up opponents' pitching so far this season. McDougal with a pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss for strike 1.
I was anxious to see if they were going to try to hit the edges a little bit against Nick. As on fire as he's been batting, but McDougal went right after him on that pitch.
No balls, 1 strike on Nick George. McDougal with a pitch. Nick hits a bouncer back to McDougal. McDougal on to Anthony Dixon for out number 3.
Well, that was another two-seam on the outer half of the plate, and Nick tried to pull that a little bit, and that's where you get the ground ball. So great piece of pitching by McDougal.
All right, and Flying Eagles go down in order. No runs on no hits. Nobody left on base at the end of the first inning. Bridgeport 3, Robert C. Byrd nothing. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back here at Staten Field, Indians up on the Flying Eagles 3-0. You know it's a big game, Coach, when you get up in the box, and Charles Casey's been there. He's been covering sports for roughly 35, 38 years now, and you know it's a high-quality contest when you see Charlie show up in the booth.
Sending out the big guns.
Leading off for the Indians, the catcher, Phil Reed, and he'll take that first pitch by Sperry on the outside corner for strike one.
If you're Luke, just got to bear down and grind through these next three batters without turning the lineup over.
Pitch is hit back up the middle and caught in the air by the second baseman, Braden Thompson, for out number one.
Great job by Luke. Excellent job by Braden. Ball was just kind of hit right at him, and he hung in there and had a little tail away from him, but he squeezed it up.
It's going to bring up the third baseman, Drew Bailey, number 7. Sperry with a pitch on the inside, grounder, slow grounder to Junkins. Junkins off balance, throws a strike to first base to Nick George for out number 2. Nice play on a slow hit ball by Nathaniel Junkins.
And Big Than had to make an adjustment on that. That ball looked like it was going to come off harder than it did, and once it hit that grass, it kind of died. So he had to come in and really get that ball off balance and still have the arm to get it there, which he did. Great job.
Number 11.
That's going to bring up the left fielder, number 11, Connor Buffington. Sperry gets a sign from Dodd. Sits up on the outside corner. Here's the pitch. Low and away for ball one. Start him off with a breaking ball there, Coach.
Yeah, he's being careful. It looks like he has a plan for each Bridgeport batter, and he's kind of sticking to it.
1 ball, no strike count. Curveball just misses for ball 2.
Well, with the number 9 hitter here, I'm guessing Luke's going to just come in and challenge him.
Really nice pitch right there by
it was
Sperry.
Great job by Buffington holding off on it.
Fastball on the outside for ball 3. Sperry needs to calm down here a little bit, Coach, and relax.
Yeah, you don't want to put Buffington on with Cole coming back up and then that meat of the lineup.
It's a 3-ball, no strike in the right at the knees for Sperry to get strike 1. Nice pitch by Luke there. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Sperry with a pitch. Hit right back up the middle. Junkins pops right up to him, off balance. Great throw to Nick George for out number 3, and the Indians go quietly in the top of the second inning. No runs on no hits, nobody left on base at the end of 1.5 innings. Bridgeport 3, RCB nothing. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back at beautiful Staten Field here on the campus of Robert C. Byrd High School. Flying Eagles trailing the Indians 3-0. Bottom of the second inning. The pitcher, Luke Sperry, the cleanup hitter, up to bat for Robert C. Byrd. McDougal got ahead of a lot of the hitters there in that first inning, Coach. And
yeah, he operated his plan of attack pretty effectively.
McDougal in the windup. Off-speed pitches low inside for ball 1.
Common theme so far is he's starting these RCB hitters off with some breaking pitches. So see if he keeps that up.
Dougal with a fastball. Sperry hits it to the shortstop. Cam Cole gets it on a big hop.
Nice play.
And a nice stretch there by the first baseman, Anthony Dixon, to get Luke Sperry for the first out of the top or bottom of the second inning.
That ball took a big final hop. Cole again on the grass, and because he had to reach up, I wasn't sure if his transition was going to cause him not be able to get that, but he did, and tip of the cap to Cam Cole.
To a strike to first base, and Dixon's made a really long stretch there to make the play at first base not as close as what it could have been. Off-speed pitch again to Junkins, and Junkins, the shortstop, the number 5 hitter for the Flying Eagles, fouls it back for strike 1.
Well, again, starts him off with off-speed. Let's see if he comes with a fastball or stays with the off-speed.
Fastball on the outside, two-seamer, fouled away for strike 2.
Yeah, that's what it was. So now 0-2. He's no runners on. He can really either go off the plate here or challenge him. He hasn't really went inside versus these right-handed RCB hitters today.
Dougal in the windup. Fastballs hitting the air to center field. Hayden Paulson camps underneath of it for out number 2.
Nice cut by Big Dan. Got a little under it. Hits it over a couple clouds, but good job by Paulson pulling that in.
Braden Thompson.
That'll bring up the second baseman, number 7, Braden Thompson.
Well, again, we've seen several times this season with 2 outs, and Braden at the plate. If he gets on, he's another leadoff hitter for you. So,
Off-speed pitch, low and inside, swing and a miss by Thomason.
we see a common theme here, Coach, in terms of the way McDougall's approaching these RCB hitters.
Well, the door slammed behind us. I don't think Dougie was happy with the last call at first base and slammed the door.
It's tough to please Dougie.
Fastball on the outside, part of the plate for strike 2.
It's that 2-seamer again.
No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch outside. Like he was coming from some type of breaking ball right there, but just left it way outside. Heading to count, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Braden. Phil Reed sits up outside, and Braden Thompson does a great job right there of fouling off a pitch. It was borderline strike to stay alive.
Yeah, good job by Braden. 0-2 of all the, he's a very capable hitter up there to battle back from this count.
Thomason fouls the pitch away again.
I mean, you'd like to get him on. Worst case scenario, you want to cause McDougall to dig into his pitch count a little bit here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball high and away for ball 2. That'll even the count on Thomason. And this is one of the longer bats that someone's had against McDougall today. And Thomason fouls another pitch away.
Well, this is some consistency that we've seen from Braden this season. He doesn't give his at-bats away in a careless fashion, so he's continued to battle back against McDougall here.
Pitch is fouled away again. It's 4 foul balls in a row. Definitely the longest at bat McDougall's had today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Flying Eagles have been able to get at Garner a hit yet or a base runner.
Yeah, he's had a nice at bat here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Fastball is outside for ball 3.
And that's what happens when you continually foul pitches off. Pretty soon one gets away from the pitcher, and you can climb back into the count like he's done here with a full count.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball's outside for ball 4.
What an at bat! A 10 pitch at bat, and he finds himself at first base. Now the other wrinkle to this, with McDougall being lefty, is he's going to be able to hold the runners at first a little tighter. So we'll see how aggressive they are here. Bridgeport cheating their third baseman in just a little bit.
Thomason takes about a 2-step lead off of first base. Fastball on the outside corner. Bird squares around to bunt, pulls it back, and will take ball 1.
And bunting is an absolute weapon for Bryce Bird in this Flying Eagle club.
Ball's high. Phil Reed will throw to second base, and will throw out Thomason standing for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Flying Eagles get no runs on no hits. Nobody left on base at the end of 2 innings complete. Bridgeport 3. Robert C. Byrd, nothing. RCBSN Baseball.
Flying Eagle Network.
Back at Staten Field, top of the third inning.
Cam Cole.
Bridgeport at bat ahead 3-0 against Robert C. Byrd at the top of the lineup with the shortstop, number 2, Cam Cole, leading off. Sperry needs to stick to the script from the last inning and stay if he can get ahead of those batters like he did. Sperry with a pitch hit down the left field line. In comes Bryce Byrd, and he'll make a nice play along the left field line for out number 1.
Well, great job. One of the few times today that Sperry has went inside versus a right-handed hitter. And Cam Cole, who was very, very patient his first at-bat, liked what he saw, tried to get it down the line, and they had Bryce positioned well. Going through the order once, Luke's only given up a hit. But it was a big one. So see if he can keep the runners off the bases.
It's going to bring up the pitcher, number 14, Ben McDougal. Sperry with the pitch, right on the outside corner for strike 1.
For the Indians, the pitcher, Ben McDougal.
Sperry ahead in the count, no balls, 1 strike on McDougal. Sperry gets a sign from Dodd. Here's the pitch. Off-speed pitch right there for strike 2. Way ahead in the count is McDougal now. Now he's got some pitches to play with the –
more importantly, no
lefty.
runners on. He can get off the plate here a little bit if he wants. Coach Shields imploring him to hit it where it's pitched. So if it's outside, he wants him slapping it to left.
Off-speed pitch, low and away for ball 1.
And I did pay attention to McDougal this at bat. So he gets 2 strikes. The hands slide up.
Sperry gets a sign from Dodd. 1 ball, 2 strike. Here's the pitch. Fastball low inside for ball 2. That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Flying Eagles have a outfield shift on here. Playing McDougal to pull it.
Two and 2 the count. Fastball hit down the left field line. It's going to go out of play. Keep the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bryce Byrd was played so far over. He looked like a cross-country runner.
Yeah, there's no way Bryce is going to get to a foul ball here as far over as he is. They've even moved their infield over here a little bit. They've got Rock in the hole and Nathaniel just on the other side of the bag.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Oh, nice pitch by Bryce Byrd by Luke Sperry, just on the outside corner to run the count full. Just missed with a off-speed pitch. Really nice pitch. Sperry with another off-speed pitch. It's fouled away by McDougal.
Well, if you're going to miss with your off-speed pitches, you want to miss on the outer half of the plate. You don't want to miss inside because that's usually they can swing late or swing early and still get contact with it. On outside pitches, they're spin themselves on the ground.
Here comes the payoff pitch to McDougal. Fastball. Line drive hit right to Braden Thompson for out number 2.
Well, they had that played perfect.
Braden Thompson brings up the center fielder, number 1, Aiden Paulson.
So Aiden Paulson, who scored and walked and scored his first time at bat, the number 3 hitter for Bridgeport. Sperry with the pitch. Fastball's high and inside for ball 1.
I would anticipate Luke going after Paulson here a little bit. Nobody on, 2 outs. If he gets on, he's going to have to earn it.
Fastball high and inside for ball 2. Fastball inside for ball 3.
Luke's kind of fallen off on his follow through here, so sometimes when that happens, that the ball stays up there and kind of drifts on you.
Three balls, no strikes. Fastball right down the middle to Paulson. Sperry going to try to battle back in this at bat. The number 3 hitter, the center fielder from Bridgeport. Fastball hit in the gap. Tanner Cook on the run, camps under it, and makes the play for out number 3. And the Indians go quietly in the 3rd inning. No runs on, no hits, nobody left on base. At the end of 2.5 innings, Robert C. Byrd are down to the Indians 3-0. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back at Staten Field, bottom of the 3rd inning. Flying Eagles trailing the Indians 3-0. Leading off for the Flying Indians, number 2, the left fielder, Bryce Byrd. Bryce Bird's made a couple nice plays in the field already today, Coach. And usually when that happens, guys get that adrenaline going and their first at bat. Get them going on the offensive side. Fastball's outside to Bryce Byrd. Ball 1.
Indians have done their scouting on Bryce. They got their 3rd baseman up on the grass, so they're ready for any bunt attempt.
McDougal with a pitch. Fastball in for strike 1. That'll even the count. 1 ball, 1 strike on Bryce Byrd. It may be the time for Bryce Byrd to take the bunt up the first baseline, Coach.
Well, that's the other way to approach it. First baseman's back in the hole.
Fastball, swing and a miss. Byrd in the hole, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good cut at that fastball right there, just missed it. Oh, speed pitch in there for strike 3. The first out of the inning. Caught Bryce looking.
Yeah, that was a good pitch. Bryce was on his heels a little bit and kind of froze him.
It's going to bring up the 3rd baseman, number 5, Rylan Rock. Fastball outside for ball 1.
Rylan, one of the younger guys in this Flying Eagles lineup, has been most of the season.
Fastball fouled away by Rock to even the count 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch on the outside corner for ball 2.
Looking across the campus, I think they're doing the regional tennis tournament today. So campus bustling with activity.
2 balls, 1 strike on Ryland. McDougal with a pitch inside for ball 3.
I mean, this is only the second time this game McDougal's hit three balls against a RCB batter. So,
and every pitcher or every batter this inning, he started off with fastballs, Coach.
well, definitely a departure from last inning.
A fastball on the inside corner to Rock's going to run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. And McDougal, 2 quick strikeouts to start the bottom half of the 3rd inning.
Stepping up now for the Flying Eagles. The catcher. Number 3, Waylon Dodd.
That's going to bring up the catcher for Robert C. Byrd Sr., Waylon Dodd. Curveball on the outside corner for strike 1. Nice pitch to start off there.
Whalen's had some nice games at the plate the last few games.
Fastball high, swing and a miss for strike 2. Started off with an off-speed pitch and came chest high fastball.
Yeah, he's mixing it up well.
No balls, 2 strikes on Dodd. Dodd fouls it. Line drive out of play down the first base line. Just a hair late on that pitch.
Well, it's okay to be late on McDougal. He's got nice velocity. You're not going to pull him too many times.
Speed pitch low and away for ball 1. No, he did a good job fighting that pitch off, Coach, in that situation. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, you're sitting fastball, and then you're adjusting on any off-speed pitch. That's the goal, at least.
Pitch is outside for ball 2.
Tried to backdoor him a little bit on that off-speed pitch.
Wind's starting to pick up here at Staten Field. Flag's starting to move from left to right, blowing straight out center field. Pitch is outside for ball 3. And Dodds came back from a no ball, 2 strike count to work the count full.
To the exasperation of Coach Shields.
Here's the payoff pitch to Dodd. Ball's low for ball 4, and the Flying Eagles get their second base runner of the night. Coach, I have to address the elephant in the room. We're 2 outs into the bottom of the 3rd, and the Flying Eagles haven't got a hit yet.
Oh, was that right?
Yes. So,
Coach, in a lot of areas in baseball country, mentioning something about a no-no before the proper time is thought of as a jinx on the no-no.
Well, it's not that we don't want to jinx anybody here. We just want to talk about what's going on in the game. And Flying Eagles have made it through the lineup one time, haven't had a hit yet, and they're back to the top of the lineup. So
you're just
we thought we would point that out.
You're just presenting information. I got you.
For our fans at home.
Yep.
Pitch is outside for ball 1. Warren fouls the ball off his left foot. Strike 1. That'll even the count on Evan. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Is that J.D. in as a courtesy runner?
J.D. Ford in at first base to run for Waylon Dodd. McDougal from the stretch. Curveball. Swing and a miss. And gets ahead of Evan. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's the second time he's thrown that pitch today in this inning, Coach, and it's been perfect location both times.
Evans have a tough time picking up his breaking pitch.
Fastball's hit to the third baseman. Throw on to first base. And Bailey to Dixon for out number 3. Flying Eagles have no runs on no hits. 1 runner left on base at the end of 3 complete. Bridgeport 3, Robert C. Byrd nothing. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back here at Staten Field, top of the 4th inning. It's going to bring up the first baseman leading off for the Indians, Anthony Dixon, number 18. Dixon flew out to left field his first at bat.
More accurately, Coach, he flew out to left center because the Flying Eagles have their shift on.
Yeah, actually had him played perfectly.
Yeah, hit right to him.
Dixon ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sperry gets a sign from Dodd, and here's the pitch. Line drive hit to straightaway center field, and like the sweeper that he is, Tanner Cook runs to his right and makes the catch for out number 1.
You know, if he doesn't have a nickname, I want to toss my hat in the ring here. The Eraser.
The Eraser. Tanner the Eraser Cook.
I like it.
I do too. We'll go with that.
Get some T-shirts made, copyright.
That's going to bring up the DH, Chris Harbert, homer to right field his first time up. It's the difference in the game today.
Start him off with a changeup on the outside corner.
Change up for strike 1 on the outside corner. Gets ahead of Harbert. No balls, 1 strike.
Trying to keep him off balance.
Pitch just misses high for ball 1. That'll even count 1 ball, 1 strike. Curveball on the outside. Missed for ball 2. Just missed.
Yeah, Luke's still sticking to the outer half of the plate against Harbert, which I don't blame him.
2-1 count. Sperry the pitch. Heads straight away center field. And Tanner the Eraser Cook there for out number 2.
Yeah, Harbert looks like he's the kind of guy that if you pitch it inside, he's hitting it over the scoreboard. So force him on the outer half of the plate, like right there, and he wasn't able to fully drive it, got a little under it, and ends up as a can of corn to Tanner in center.
It's going to bring up the right fielder, Trent Haynes. Hit a line drive, or flied out, excuse me, to Nick George to end the first. He'll take strike one on the outside corner. Sperry heading to count, no balls, one strike. Sperry gets a sign, curveball, hit up in the air. And Tanner Cook's going to make all 3 outs in this top half of the 4th inning as Haynes flies to center field for out number 3. No runs on no hits, nobody left on base. At the end of 3.5 innings, Bridgeport 3, Robert C. Byrd nothing. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Bottom half of the 4th inning, Flying Eagles coming to bat down 3-0 to the Bridgeport Indians. The center fielders, second batter for the Flying Eagles, Tanner Cook. Tanner had all 3 outs recorded in the top half of the 4th inning as he caught 3 fly balls to shut down the Indians. Let's see if this can get him going. First pitch, off-speed pitch, and Cook drives it down the left field line. Foul.
Coach, when you're strong up the middle on defense, it makes your life so much easier as a baseball club that you have that, you can count on that.
So all these Flying Eagles have saw McDougal one time, and ball's hit in the Bermuda Triangle, and it falls in for the first base hit. And Cook's able to stretch that into a double. Great job by Tanner Cook.
Tremendous job. Tremendous job. Like you said, hitting the Bermuda Triangle, he was able to, but he didn't stop. Once he saw it drop, he was gone. And you saw, Indians overthrew that. And
there's a lot of factors into that, Coach. You're talking about being in an area you're not normally used to being in.
Absolutely.
And now you catch the ball, you get the ball, you look up, and now the guy's just around first base but heading into second base. Now you got to throw an accurate throw from an unfamiliar position. And
away from the runner. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
So it's going to bring up Nick George with the runner on second base. And the pitch is blown away for ball 1.
When it's hitting in that spot, okay, so you're asking your first baseman to run directly behind him. you're asking your outfielder to run straight in, and then you're asking your second baseman to kind of go at an angle. So, again, like you said, all three unfamiliar spots for him.
Nick George up to bat. Takes a second pitch outside for ball 2. And this puts, Bridgeport in a situation where they don't have – first base is open. They don't have to give in to Nick here. And neither of those first 2 pitches, even close to the strike zone.
No. A little hit and run. Nick on the season's batting a robust .458, has 27 RBIs, 17 doubles. And we were joking, left center needs renamed Nick George Alley, along with 3 home runs on the season. So
George ahead in the count, 2 balls, 1 strike. McDougal leaves a pitch high and away for ball 3. And again, McDougal's been ahead in the count the whole game, and no runners on base. Now we got a runner in scoring position. He's pitching from the stretch, and he's falls behind Nick George 3-0. And Nick George rifles a base hit up the middle. Here comes Tanner Cook around third base, and he'll score the first run for the Flying Eagles as they get on the board and cut the Indian lead to 3-1. What a nice piece of hitting by Nick George. He drives that fastball up the middle for a line drive, RBI base hit.
Tremendous piece of hitting by Nick. And one of the things I was noticing with McDougal, with the runner on second, his head was just paying a little more attention to that runner. So as he swings it back across, maybe he's not hitting the locations he wants. Nick definitely made him pay for that one.
So Nick George is on first base. Flying Eagles have back-to-back hits, and they cut into the Indians' deficit, 3-1. That'll bring up the pitcher, Luke Sperry, with a runner on. Pitches in the outside corner for strike 1. And Sperry crushes the ball foul down the left field line.
Another example of McDougal coming inside, Luke pulling it down the line. The other thing with having a runner on, it forces that pitcher he's got to work close around the plate. He can't get too crazy, otherwise wild pitches and pass balls come into play and you end up giving up free bases.
No ball, 2 strike. Count on Sperry. Fastball in for a called third strike. But Nick George is able to steal second base, and this was a factor, Coach, when Tanner Cook was on second base. So great jump by Nick George on the 0-2 count.
We've talked about Nick all season on the base paths and how he's just been so efficient when he's on there. He's in scoring position, opportunity for Big Than to bring him home. But more importantly, he's got the attention of McDougal.
Curveball in there for strike 1 on Nathaniel Junkins, the shortstop. Junkins flew out to center, his first at bat. Behind the count now, 1 ball. No balls, 1 strike. Fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. McDougal ahead in the count.
Well, that's
pass ball on Phil Reed there, and the ball gets by, and that allows or enables Nick George to get into third base. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now anything can score Nick George now.
Now you don't have to have a hit to get him. You can just have a ball hit to the right side of the field. You could have a pass ball or a wild pitch. All these things are in play.
So Nick George on third base, trying to cut in. The Flying Eagles trying to cut into that Indian lead. Fastball and grounded to the third baseman.
Great job on. Ooh.
Foul ball down the third base Line just fouled.
Coach Hill arguing that the third baseman touched it when it was fair. The ump disagrees with him, says he touched it when it was foul. So the ball went foul before it crossed the base. It's ruled a foul ball.
And George was going on contact there as he took off immediately as soon as that ball was hitting the ground.
Yeah, he's not waiting to see.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Big Than. McDougal with a pitch and swing and a miss for out number 2.
But again, having a runner at third, 2 outs. You got a Braden up who can run, but he's also laid bunts down this season. And they're not even, looks like they're playing the corners back a little bit here.
Fastball hit to right field. And the right fielder, Trent Haynes, backs up and makes the play for out number 3. Flying Eagles break the ice as they score 1 run on 2 hits. 1 runner left on base at the end of 4 complete. Bridgeport 3, Robert C. Byrd 1. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Oh, sitting here in the top of the 5th inning telling old war stories about baseball back in the day. Top of the 5th inning, the catcher Phil Reed at bat for the Indians, up 3-1 on Robert C. Byrd. Sperry's first pitch is low and away for ball 1.
Reed lined out to Braden Thompson at second base last at bat.
Reed's the number 7 hitter. Fastballs drove into left center field. Cook's on the run. And that ball is going to go out of over the fence for a home run for Phil Reed and the 4th Bridgeport Indian run of the night.
Bridgeport showing their power at the plate this afternoon. Well hit ball, got it up in the air. I thought the eraser was going to have a chance to make that play, but not today.
Wind blowing out now at Staten Field, and Phil Reed did a nice job turning on that fastball and hitting in the left center gap and up in the wind, and way far away it went. Flying Eagles are going to make a pitching change now, so we're going to take a break with them. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back here at Staten Field, Flying Eagles are down to the Indians 4-1. Nick George on the mound now for Robert C. Byrd here in the top of the fifth inning. You know, we had a little technical difficulties earlier when we were doing the interview with Coach Hill, but one of the things he brought up, Coach, was the role that Nick George is came into, and that is his closer role, how confident he's been, and Nick coming in and shutting other teams down.
Yeah, Nick, a little faster than Luke, a little more overhand delivery, and it's just a different way to approach the opposing team.
So first pitch to the third baseman, Drew Bailey's just high for ball one. Really good pitch by Nick. Second pitch right on the outside corner for ball two.
But Luke, outside of a couple walks, he really two pitches, and I wouldn't argue that they were bad pitches. Indians just hit it.
Yeah, two hits off of Luke Sperry for 4 runs. He hit 2 home runs. Nick George, fastball on the outside corner for strike one. That'll make the count. 2-1 on Bailey. George for the windup. Nice pitch, strike 2, right on the outside corner.
I mean,
good pitch.
Nick is tossing some aspirins up there.
And Nick doesn't mess around. He gets up and pitches. 2-2 count. Fastball's blown away for ball 3.
He gripped it and ripped it on that one. I think I heard a little bit of a grunt on that release. Nick wanted that one. As we've seen, Nick usually takes a few batters before, not having the benefit of warming up in his relief role. Might take a few batters to warm up.
Payoff pitch. Curveball's high for ball 4. And Bailey works a walk.
Base on balls.
So Indians have a runner on first, nobody out.
Brings up the left field.
Up 4-1.
Connor Buffington.
Top of the 5th inning. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Connor Buffington.
RCB bringing Rock in a little bit on the grass at third, playing for a sacrifice here.
Connor's dad's been a long-time football coach at Bridgeport, middle school level. Does a tremendous job with that program. One ball, no strike. Nick George with a pickoff move again to first base.
Nick has a pretty good move. He's quick.
Bailey keeps on sneaking off first base. Pitch is high for ball 2.
As we've seen, once Nick gets in a groove, I think you pointed it out earlier, he pitches fast and he throws strikes. I think it's probably a case when he loosens up a little bit.
2 ball, no strike. And Bailey slides in head first, safe to first base on the pickoff move. Buffington squared around right there, up 2 balls, no strikes. I don't know if that was more of a bunt action or a bluff action, Coach.
I think he was just trying to irritate Nick.
Buffington squares. Fastball right on the outside corner for strike 1. It was the bluff.
It was the bluff.
By the buff.
Put it on T for you there, didn't they?
So 2 ball, 1 count.
Wind picking up just a little bit.
On Connor Buffington. Bailey takes off. Buffington hits the ball in the short right center field, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Nice piece of hitting by Buffington. Pitcher's on the outside part of the plate, and he takes it right over the second baseman.
And he just hit it. I mean, where they had a little bit of a shift going on, and it was just too far for the outfielders to travel. Nice job by Buffington hanging in there and slapping that ball in an open spot. That allows the Indians to turn the lineup over with no outs, 2 runners on.
Now batting the shortstop, Cam Cole.
Bridgeport with a rally here at the top of the 5th inning. You have 2 runners on, nobody out. That's going to be the shortstop, Cam Cole, up to bat, the leadoff hitter.
Cole flew out to left fielder his last at bat.
George from the stretch. And nice play by Nick George. Cole squares around a bunt, bunts it up in the air, and Nick George makes a really athletic play to make that play.
Thought for a second if he would have been able to keep his feet, might have had a chance to try to double up. But you know, you don't see the Indians make those type of mistakes typically. They're usually pretty efficient with their small ball game, and I'll be surprised if McDougal doesn't have the green light here.
Fastball blown away, gets away from Waylon Dodd as that pitch was in the dirt. It was a wild pitch, and that allows Bailey and Buffington to move up 90 feet. Now runners on second and third with 1 out.
Yeah, hit kind of blows this game open a little bit, so they're going to bring Coach Hill's going to bring the infield in, try to keep that run from scoring.
Fastball on the inside part of the plate for ball 2. Just missed. The Flying Eagles getting the bullpen up. Looks like Anthony Corsini's getting ready to get loose.
Bailey with a big secondary lead.
Ball's hit out of play. Tremendous effort from Ryland Rock to try to get there to make the play. Two balls, 1 strike on the number 2 hitter, Ben McDougal. McDougal trying to help himself up 4-1 here at the top half of the 5th inning. Dodd with a nice stop as the pitch was in the dirt. Runs the count, 3 balls and 1 strike.
Nick really trying to bear down, might be overthrowing a little bit here.
Fastball right on the outside corner. And that'll run the count full with 3 balls and 2 strikes. McDougal gets in the box. Dodd gives George a sign. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball.
Nice pitch.
Actually, curveball. Froze McDougal for strike 3 as he catches McDougal looking.
Yeah, he left that over the plate, surprisingly. And you don't really see too many Indians hitter get fooled like that. And Paulson definitely wasn't expecting that, a full count.
And it's going to bring up the center fielder, Aiden Paulson. George checks the runner. Fastball's high, gets by. Here comes Bailey. And there's no play at home as he crosses home plate for the 5th run.
Runner scores from third on the pitch.
Going to put Bridgeport up 5-1.
I think Nick and Waylon just trying to get on the same page here. I don't know if that last pitch they had their signs crossed. Waylon just trying to make sure they're both good.
Just looking at the stats, Coach, the Indians have 3 runners have walked today that have scored 3 of their 5 runs.
See that a lot in baseball, Coach. When you those free passes happen, they usually end up hurting you in the long run.
Paulson with an inside fastball. He fights it off for strike 1.
Now, Nick probably has the velocity to challenge these right-handed hitters inside. It was nice to see him change it up there. Went back to it.
Nick's ahead of the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trying to shut the door on the Indians. They've scored 2 in the inning already. Have Buffington on third with 2 outs. George ahead of the count. He gets a sign from Dodd. Here comes the pitch. Curveball. Great pitch by Nick George. 2 things there. Could have been called strike 3, and I don't know how Paulson didn't swing at it.
I don't either. I'd have swung 3 times at that pitch.
That'll even the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again. And it's curveball gets by Dodd. Paulson running up the line. And Buffington scores. As Paulson beats the throw to first base.
First on the swing and a miss. Connor Buffington scores from third on.
Well, we were talking about this earlier. When you have runners on, especially runners in scoring position, you really have to be focused on your pitches and keep it clean around the plate. And if it isn't, that's the risk you run.
It's going to bring up the first baseman, Anthony Dixon. Paulson steals second base.
Paulson to second on the stolen base.
Dodd throw sails to the shortstop side of second.
Yeah, Dodd's throw had a nice bit of velocity on it. Just missed his target.
Fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. That'll even the count on Dixon. Pitches outside for ball 2. Two balls, 1 strike on the cleanup hitter from Bridgeport. Indians up 6-1. Pitch is high for ball 3. George with a fastball, eye leveling.
Challenged him.
Dixon couldn't lay off. That'll even the count, or actually run the count full to 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the payoff pitch. Balls hit the left field.
Tailing
Bryce Bird gets underneath of it and makes the play for the 3rd out. But not before the Indians score 3 runs on 2 hits. 1 runner left on base at the end of 4.5 innings. Bridgeport 6, Robert C. Byrd 1. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back at Staten Field, bottom half of the 5th inning, Flying Eagles trailing the Indians 6-1. And leading off is the left fielder, Bryce Bird, who made a nice play at the end, the bottom or top half of the 5th with a line drive. And he hits a line drive himself to left field. Line drive ball that was taken away from him.
Bryce Bird with the line
And
drive.
he made a nice play to
He really did last inning. He had a little bit of a shift, so that ball was moving away from him, and he squeezed it right there, man. He just one of the cleanest hits been today that's stayed in the park.
And he rifles a line drive over the shortstop of Cole for a hit to lead off the 5th inning. First pitch to Ryland Rocks in there for strike 1. Reed makes the play to Dixon at first base, but Bryce Bird was in easily as they try to sneak in behind him. But Bird was having none of that. McDougal used the A move there, Coach, and almost had Bryce Bird leaning.
Little step off and quick pick.
Second pitch to Ryland Rocks in the dirt. And again, from one of your points earlier, you know, McDougal's in the stretch now. He never even looked back before he made that pitch.
Yeah.
And, you know, that gets your focus off. Mechanics got to be really, really good to be able to do that. Throws back to first base, and Bird's in safely.
McDougal seems pretty determined to keep Bird at first.
Rock takes the fastball and fouls it away. McDougal heading the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
They get another ball here and get a 2-2 count. It wouldn't shock me to see a little hit and run. What we mean by the quick pick, man, he doesn't even engage in the rubber. He just lifts and throws.
Fastball fouled back away as Rock stays alive, 1-2. And Rock hits a line drive over the head of Cam Cole. And Bryce Bird's able to go from first to third. And here come the Flying Eagles.
Well, that in essence was a hit and run with the jump that he got. So nice piece of hitting. Right in the gap. Runners at first and third. Wailing up. That was a curveball where McDougal curved it right over the plate.
Just what the doctor needed for the Flying Eagles. Bottom of the order up, and they've got 2 men on, nobody out. The number 9 hitter, Waylon Dodd, up. Dodd squares around, and ball tips off the top of his bat and goes back foul for strike 1.
And we've seen Waylon with a couple nice bunts this season.
So McDougal with his head on a swivel, got runners on first and third. He's checking everybody out. Dodd squares around again and fouls it back for strike 2.
I think Dodd correctly was trying to go up the first base line with the runner on first.
No balls, 2 strikes to Dodd. McDougal with a pitch. Fastball. Inside corner called, strike 3. Caught him looking. Pretty good pitch right there by McDougal. Not too much that I think Dodd could have done with anyway.
Yeah, froze him, and unless he could have pulled that down the line. It was just a nice pitch.
Flying Eagles on first and third, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning, down 6-1. That'll bring up Evan Warren. Evan Warren hits a long fly ball, actually to the center fielder, and the center fielder Aiden Paulson throws a strike to Anthony Dixon to double up Ryland Rock and get the second out.
Fly out to center field.
So the Flying Eagles get no runs on 2 hits. 1 runner left on base at the end of 5 complete. Bridgeport 6, Robert C. Byrd 1. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
The Bridgeport Indians.
Back here at State Field. While we were away at the break, we got some good news.
Flying Eagles 2.
How about that?
It's always good to have some good news. Flying Eagles actually score a run there in the bottom half of the 5th inning is the fly ball to center field that was caught by Paulson before he was able to throw out Rock at first. The Flying Eagles were able to cross home plate and score their second run. So the score now is Bridgeport 6, Robert C. Byrd 2.
Yeah, anytime there's a double play and there's a potential run being scored, if that run scores before that second out occurs, the run counts. And that's what the officials were conferencing on, and that's what they came to the conclusion.
The DH, Chris Harbert's up to bat for the Indians. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Off-speed pitch by Nick George. Runs the count 2-1.
Talking about that scored run, that's an issue that Coach Hill has to bring up.
Harbert hits the ball high into the air. And Evan Warren camps under it for out number 1 for the Flying Eagles.
So going back to that, but after the inning was over, when Coach Hill's crossing, he's just verifying that that run counts. And then after that is when the umps kind of met and discussed it. So I'm thinking left to their own devices might not have counted that.
It's a good job by Coach Hill making sure they made the correct call. The first baseman, Anthony Dixon, up to bat for Bridgeport here in the top of the 6th. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Coach, I know you keep a meticulous scorebook. What's the hit totals for both teams today? I put you on the spot.
I've got Bridgeport with 3 hits and
4 for RCB?
4 for RCB.
Okay.
Dixon ahead of the count, 3 balls. And now 2 strikes.
Out hit team 4-3 and be down 4 runs. Doesn't happen often.
Oh, we talked about how the walks play, a role into what's going on.
Yeah. That's might have a chance.
Ball's hit deep to left field. And Trent Haynes hits a solo home run over the left field fence, and that's the Indians' 3rd home run of the game.
Well, I came into this game thinking that Bridgeport was going to be efficient and play small ball and get them moving on the base pass, and instead it's been a launch party, man. They've been shooting them out of left center and went opposite field earlier in the game, so they've got 4 hits on the game and 3 of them are home runs.
It's going to extend Bridgeport's lead to 7-2.
Now batting Phil Reed.
I'll bring out the catcher, Phil Reed, with 1 out in the top of the 6th.
Reed homered his last at bat.
Takes a fastball high for ball 1. And George immediately right back with a fastball in the inside corner for strike 1.
Oh, Nick is focused now. He's irritated.
A home run will do that to you.
Yeah.
Nick with a fastball down low for ball 2. Fastball again on the inside corner, strike 2. That'll even the count. On Reed, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fastball's low and in the dirt. That'll run the count full on Reed. 1 out. Here in the top of the 6th inning. Pitch is outside for ball 4.
Good job holding off by Reed.
So it's going to bring up the 3rd baseman, Drew Bailey. 1 on.
Coach Shields sending in a courtesy runner for his catcher.
1 on, 1 out.
Zach Rohrig, the courtesy runner for the catcher.
Zach Rohrig in first base.
Now batting the 3rd baseman, Drew Bailey.
We're getting some conversations from people that are able to replay that play that ended the half of the inning, and some of our accounts from some of our crack staff that works for us on the side following these games came back and said maybe that that run shouldn't have counted the bottom half of the 5th inning.
Well, my contention has always been, if you're going to have a conference after that without the benefit of a replay, what are you conferencing about? Did you 1,001, 1,002 count it, or, I mean, I don't know. Coach Hill forcing the official to come out and break it up, and
so Bailey coming to bat, the 3rd baseman for Bridgeport.
Number 7, Drew Bailey.
We have a deep contingency coach of people that, help us with this broadcast, and it's tremendously appreciated to make sure what we're saying is accurate and fair.
absolutely.
For the Eagles.
Little qualifier there at the end.
Fastball's high.
Well,
Ball 1.
I'm sure Coach Hill wants to try to get Nick through this inning, see what they do on their half, and then go from there.
And Nick's last 2 pitches have been left up high. He's releasing just a hair early on those fastballs. One on, one out. Fastball.
You can tell Nick's frustrated.
Strike 1.
Home run and then a walk, and he's a competitor.
Hit and run by the Indians, and Bailey's able to steal second base.
Rorig steals.
Or excuse me, Rorig, who is a courtesy runner for Reed. It's going to even the count on Bailey. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bailey with a grounder up the middle, picked up by Junkins. Junkins on to Sperry for out number 2.
6-3 for the second out. Runner
Junkins
goes
looks
to
like
second
he's
base.
may have tweaked something there, Coach. He's holding his shoulder.
Yeah, he threw it awkwardly. Normally he's bent over and really kind of goes sidearm. That one, he kind of stayed upright. And
Back to the plate for the Indians, the left fielder, number 11.
So hopefully Big Than's okay. Nick George grinding here in the 6th inning, able to get that second out. A curveball in on the number 9 hitter, Connor Buffington.
Buffington
Strike 1.
looped in that single last at bat, right into shallow right center. Nice pitch.
George gets way ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes.
I'd come back inside with that fastball.
Buffington turns on the fastball and fires it down the third base line, foul.
I thought he could squeak it by him, but quick hands by Buffington right there. So now maybe try a breaking pitch on the outer half of the plate, see if you can backdoor him a little bit.
Nick way ahead. Rory takes off. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. Great job by Nick George buckling down there in that situation and able to get the Flying Eagles out of that jam, Coach.
Yeah, great job. Pleased to see Nick stay in that game and get through that inning. You want to see your players fight through like that just for the mental aspect.
So the Bridgeport Indians get 1 run on 1 hit. 1 runner's left on base at the end of 5.5 innings. Bridgeport 7, Robert C. Byrd 2. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back here at Staten Field, bottom half of the 6th inning, Flying Eagles trail the Indians 7-2. Leading off the inning for the Flying Eagles, the center fielder, Tanner Cook. McDougal's first pitch is low in the dirt for ball one. McDougal's pitched a nice game for the Indians this afternoon.
Kept these Flying Eagle batters off balance a little bit. Cook, his last at bat, got a double on a heads-up play.
And Cook just misses a fastball. Fouled away for strike one.
Oddly enough, he was kind of out in front of that pitch.
That ball nicks off of Phil Reed, and as most umpires will do, they'll give the catcher a little bit of time for protecting them all night.
Yeah.
To kind of regroup and make sure they're okay. So 1 ball, 1 strike on Tanner. McDougal gets a sign from Reed. The full windup. Here's the pitch. Fastball's in there for strike 2. McDougal's pitch is low inside for ball 2. Being ahead of the count opens up McDougal's repertoire. He can get him with a bunch of different pitches. 2-seam fastball, breaking ball, changeup, really hard fastball. So
Wouldn't shock me if he had 2-seam on the outer half.
He went breaking ball, blown away, and that's going to run the count full on Tanner Cook, who's had a good eye at this at bat once he fell behind.
Well, you get Cook on, you got a heartbeat here and opportunity for your heart of your order coming up.
Payoff pitch is high for ball 4. Good job by Tanner Cook. Get that leadoff hitter on for the Flying Eagles. Let's get some action going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That's going to bring up the pitcher, big Nick George.
It's Nick George music I hear, Coach. And, you know, with Cook at first, yeah, you get a runner, but you also get a capable base runner. He's probably maybe their best base runner. So, you know, you don't want to take the bat out of Nick George's hands, but you want to try to distract McDougal a little bit.
Tanner's already signed to play for Alderson Broadus, and it's because he's a well-complemented player.
Yeah.
He can do everything. He can field. He can run the bases. He hits the ball with power. So Nick ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 ball, no strikes, and takes the second pitch low for ball 2.
See some action in the Indian bullpen.
So McDougal with a pitch. Fastball on the outside, half of the plate. In there for strike 1. Cook takes off.
Oh, my goodness.
And so
what
does
a nice hit.
Nick George as he drives a line drive over second base. And the Flying Eagles have action with guys on first and third and nobody down, and bringing the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, Luke Sperry.
Just a great piece of hitting on the outer half. He pokes it right into right center. I don't know, Coach, if there's a better hitter in the conference. I haven't seen him yet.
Nick's got great hands, and he drives the ball when he levels the ball up no matter where it's at. Sperry up the bat. Takes a fastball. Here comes Cook, and he slides in head first and is called out, and he wasn't even tagged. He wasn't even tagged at all.
I had already marked it in the book as a run scored.
Wow. So wild pitch goes by, and Flying Eagles really hurt by that call as Tanner Cook slides in head first, and the catcher Phil Reed misses the tag, and the umpire blocked by Reed calls him out.
I'm just getting ready to say we're at a crossroads in the game where this could go one or two ways. McDougal not wasting any time after that.
1 ball,
call.
2 strikes. Nick George now on second base after the pass ball. And fastball by Sperry, swing and a miss for strike 3.
Swinging strikeout for the second out of the inning. Brings up the shortstop,
Up to bat,
Nathaniel Junkin.
the shortstop, Nathaniel Junkins. Off-speed pitch, swing and a miss for strike 1.
McDougal is in the zone right now. He's pitching fast. He's throwing strikes. He's mixing everything up. Location, speeds, eye levels.
McDougal's inside pitch is fouled away down the first base line. It's ahead of Junkins, no balls, 2 strikes. And Junkins looks like his shoulder's really bothering him, Coach.
Yeah, that was a kind of an inside-out swing he had. It looks like he didn't want to open up his shoulder.
McDougal with a pitch. Tying away for ball 2. Actually, ball 1. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes now. I was hoping it was 2. McDougal with a pitch. George takes off and is thrown out by Phil Reed at third base to end the inning.
2-5 to end the inning.
Flying Eagles score no runs on no hits. Nobody left on base at the end of 6 full innings.
But no runs and nobody left.
Bridgeport 7,
6 full with the Bridgeport Indians.
Robert C. Byrd 2. RCBSN Baseball.
Flying Eagle Network.
Back here at the top of the 7th inning, Bridgeport ahead of the Flying Eagles 7-2. Leading off is the leadoff hitter for Bridgeport, the shortstop, Cam Cole. Cole rockets a shot into left center, and Short hops.
Base hit for Cole. Advances
Gets
to
by
second base.
Cook. And Cole's able to run into second base with a double.
Clean hit by Cam.
Brings up the pitcher.
Just
Ben
dropped right in
Duvall.
front of Tanner out in center.
Well, it just caught him in no man's land. You either dive, do you short hop it. He was just caught in
Yeah.
between. That's a tough.
Well, he dives at that and misses it. Cole's probably standing on third.
So McDougal trying to help himself up 7-2. Takes the first pitch from Nick George on the outside corner for strike one. Cam Cole bluffs. Second pitch in the dirt for ball one. That'll even the count on McDougal.
He does, but what's that do? That if you're a pitcher and you see that, it messes up your rhythm.
Yeah, it occupies him, Coach, and that's what it's all about. And that's what Cam did a good job of right there. Is even when you watched Nick George go into his stretch, but to make the pitch there, he actually acted or feinted towards second base a little bit instead of normally just and Nick George moves right there, and
Balk call.
they call balk on Nick for his. Once he came set, he kind of rocked a little bit, and I don't think Coach Hill likes the call.
I think Coach Hill's going to talk about some stock investment, some stock tips maybe. I'll be honest with you, this conversation isn't about that. This conversation is really
About the out call?
The out call at the plate.
Yeah. Yeah, and that changes things. You can say what you want to say, but a 7-3 ball game with less out, guy on second base,
The harder your lineup up.
everything can change right there, and that's how things can be affected. Ball's hit to Luke Sperry. Sperry throws it to Thomason.
Great job.
Does a great job to get McDougal out on the grounder to the first baseman. So good communication there between Sperry and Thomason. When Thomason comes over to cover the bag to get the first out, the Flying Eagles have their infield up, trying to prevent this run and the extension of the Indians' lead.
And Luke held an aggressive runner at third in Cam Cole and made sure he didn't get a break on the ball.
So that out goes 3-4 for those of you keeping score at home.
Coach, I got to be honest, my scorebook game is tight. Been getting a lot of practice in this season.
First pitch to Paulson, lone away for ball one. George, second pitch is high for ball two.
Except for the last game or the game before where we had the batter interference. I still don't know how to score that.
Well, there's a YouTube video when you're done with the telecast today. You can check that out. And
I hear you.
George's pitch in for strike one. Paulson hits the ball
It's going to be tough.
high in the air. And what a stop by Braden Thompson.
Wow.
He turns around and fires a strike to home plate.
What a
and keeps
play.
Cam Cole at third base. What a play by Braden Thompson.
The wherewithal to catch it and with basically your foot not even on the ground, turn and throw a strike to home.
2 outs.
Great job. Great piece of pitching, though, by Nick, too. Nick hitting that outside portion of the plate.
It's going to bring up the first baseman, Anthony Dixon. Flying Eagles can back up now and play their normal positions with 2 outs.
Dixon has flown out to left center 3 times. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, he has. Flown out
Coach
to
Hill
left
calls
center.
timeout. He wants to have a discussion with his infielders on how to play this. He may be telling Nick, hey, just go back to the full windup. There's 2 outs now.
Well, the benefit when there's less than 2 outs is the benefit of the stretch is it limits the opportunity for a squeeze play, which in this situation with 2 outs, if that happens, you can just get the runner and not have to worry about it. Coach Hill trying to keep his troops fired up.
Short and sweet, brief discussion. Make sure everybody's on the same page here with 2 outs. The number 4 hitter, Dixon, up to bat for the Indians. George from the stretch comes set. Ball is hit to the second baseman, Thomason. Thomason on to Sperry for out number 3. And the Flying Eagles able to squander that leadoff double by the Indians.
That was the Braden Thompson half inning right there.
Was in all 3 of the plays that inning, all 3 outs. A great job by Braden. The Indians scored no runs on 1 hit, 1 runner's left on third base at the end of 6.5. Bridgeport 7, Robert C. Byrd 2. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Heading into the bottom of the 7th, the Eagles lead off with Nathaniel Junkins.
Big Dan leading it off for the Flying Eagles this inning. Top half or bottom half of the 7th with a 5-run deficit.
So Junkins leading off. Bridgeport's going to change pitchers here. And it's going to be number 21, Dylan Duvall, into pitch. So Duvall falls behind Junkins, 1 ball, no strikes. There's a fastball on the outside corner, low and away for ball 2. So Junkins ahead in the count, 2-0. Take one heck of a rally for the Flying Eagles, but that's what baseball's about. You never know. Fastball's up and in for ball 3. I think Junkins is going to just sit back and take this one now. 3 up in the count, 3 balls, no strikes, and Duvall's been all over the place, Coach.
Well, the good thing for the Flying Eagles, the bottom part of their lineup has shown themselves very capable all season. So
Junkins advances to first with a walk. Last time Flying Eagles were were able to get to the bottom of their lineup. They had some lightning created initially.
Braden Thompson.
So Thomason, after recording all 3 outs or being a part of all 3 outs in the top half of the 7, he's up with 1 on, nobody out. Fastball to Duvall on the outside corner, called strike 1.
Well, we, you know, with a 5-run deficit, you really can't afford to bunt and give away an out. So
Duvall's second pitch, sign inside for ball 1. That'll even the count on Thomason.
at this point, if I'm Coach Hill, I'm going to see if Duvall can find the strike zone before I start getting too crazy here.
Braden fouls the fastball back out of play for strike 2.
Be honest with you, I wasn't sure we were going to get this game in, but don't see too many clouds around.
Duvall checks Junkins at first base. Off-speed pitch low and away for ball 2. That'll even the count on Thomason.
When Duvall throws his off speed, he changes his arm,
Arm angle.
Yeah, his release is different, so easier to pick up.
Fastball inside for ball 3. And really, you know, he's really struggled to throw strikes right here. That's how the Indians got their first rallies when they walked a couple early batters in the game, and low and away for ball 4. And Coach Shields started to dance around at third base as the first 2 Flying Eagle batters walk and got a little bit of a rally started. That's going to bring up Bryce Bird.
Well, if you're Coach Shields, you don't have that long of a leash here because you mess around and you turn this order over, then you run the risk of them really getting back in here. Especially if they can get a couple runs across with only an out.
So Bryce Bird squares around. And Duvall paints the outside corner for strike 1. Probably the best pitch by Duvall so far. It was a good pitch right on the outside corner.
He's a hard thrower.
Bryce Bird bunts the ball down the third base line. And good job as Bailey's able to throw the ball over to the second baseman, Oliverio, and record the first out. Bryce is able to advance the runners to second and third with 1 out, but tough trade right there because we need the runners, but we also need no outs to come back from down 5.
Well, a hit scores 2 here.
Fastballs up and away to Ryland Rockford.
And Duvall hasn't shown he's able to throw strikes consistently, so.
Second pitch. Rock
That's a tough
hits
play.
it up.
That's a tough play.
And Rock's going to get an RBI infield single as Nathaniel Junkins crosses home plate for the 3rd Flying Eagle run. And the Flying Eagles have runners on 1st and 3rd. 1 out, bottom of the 7th inning. And that's going to bring up Waylon Dodd, the catcher.
And we'll see if we can get, I'd like to get Ryland over to second to eliminate the force play at second. And then if a base hit occurs, then you're getting 2 runs in.
Duvall's first pitch is in the dirt for ball 1.
You can get Waylon on here, you're in business.
Dodd ahead in the count, 1 ball, no strikes. Duvall with a fastball in the inside corner for strike 1.
Nice pitch by Duvall.
Nice overhand fastball right on the inside corner. Counts even on Dodd. Duvall with a pitch. And
Nice
line
hit.
drive to right field. Base hit by Waylon Dodd. RBI single as Bryce Berg crosses home plate for the 4th Flying Eagle run.
Great piece of hitting by Whalen, Coach.
Cuts the deficit to 7-4.
I was just getting ready to say that Duvall hasn't shown the ability to be consistent with his breaking pitch, so you can just kind of sit on the fastball. That's what Whalen did there, kind of on the outer half. That's where he slapped it. And I think Coach Shields is going to make a change.
So we'll take a break with Coach Shields. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.
Back here at Staten Field, bottom of the 7th inning. Flying Eagles got a rally going. 2 runners on, 1 out. Evan Warren, the leadoff batter for the Flying Eagles. And the Indians come in with number 2, Cam Cole, to pitch. Cole with a breaking ball in there for strike 1. Watching his breaking ball during his warm-up pitches, he's very confident and threw 3 or 4 times every time for a strike, Coach.
I think it's probably his best pitch.
And the infield fly rule is going to be invoked here as Evan Warren pops it up. Cole makes the catch anyway, but that prevents the –
Yeah. And that pitch kind of jammed Evan a little bit. He wasn't able to extend his arms and muscle that through the infield, so – 2 out Lightning.
We've seen it before. You know, again, anytime we're down 7-4 now, you know, the tying runs at the plate, and this Flying Eagle offense can take the ball out of this park at any time once you get to the top of the lineup.
The next 4 batters are all capable of it.
Cole with a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1 on Tanner Cook. Curve balls left high and inside for ball 1. Wind blowing sternly out.
Picking up a little bit.
To left center, and Cook fooled by the off-speed pitch and swinging a miss. It's going to make the count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Cook trying to battle, stay alive. Get a pitch that he can drive.
So Cole in the windup tries to overthrow that one. Flying Eagles. Rock's able to steal third on the, or go to third on the ball in the dirt. Risky play there with 2 outs, but he's able to make it. And Flying Eagles now with runners on second and third. 2-2 count on Cook. The ball's outside, off-speed pitch. That's going to run the count full. Cole does not want to have Nick George at bat.
He does not.
So he's got to come to Tanner Cook right here. Here's the payoff pitch. Fastball. Drive into center field.
Oof.
And a leaping,
nice
jumping catch by Aiden Paulson to end the game. as Bridgeport's able to hold off the Flying Eagles rally and win the game 7-4.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the game, Coach. You know, the Indians brought their big sticks out today, and they were just clubbing the ball out of the park, and some free passes put runners on the bases, and they were able to take advantage of that, and that's really been the difference of the game, was their ability to score runs in bunches. And they didn't hit the ball tremendously, and I haven't looked at the totals, but Flying Eagles may have out-hit them today, but they were very efficient with getting those runs across.
And you know, the Flying Eagles were just on the side of a couple close calls that didn't go their way today. You know, the game's changed if it's 7-6 in that situation as well. So,
and you don't want to blame it on a call, but I promise you, there was a fork in the road, and that call determined which direction the game was going to go.
Absolutely. And, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, it's a tough job. We commend the officials for coming out and doing what they're doing. I didn't mean no ill will with that in any way whatsoever. Just saying that, you know, just in a game, you know, there's breaks that are made one way or another.
Yep.
And they just didn't fall Robert C. Byrd's way today. So commend the Bridgeport Indians on their 24th win. And, you know, we know they'll be a contender in AAA, as they always are, for the state title this year. But don't sleep on these Flying Eagles who've won 18 games, Coach. They're now 18-8. And they, as you can see today, they can play with anybody.
Absolutely, and they had opportunities today. And, again, but we talked earlier, you can't really have miscues against this Indian ball club. You got to play clean. And having said all of that, even with some of the mistakes that the Flying Eagles made, they had the tying run up at the bottom half of the inning. So they had an opportunity, and this will bode well for them moving forward in the fact that the teams that they'll be playing in their section and potentially in the region on their goal to make the states this year.
So, again, the Bridgeport Indians close out the game 7-4 over the Flying Eagles. For Ryan Lance, I'm Basil Lucas. RCBSN Baseball.
The Flying Eagle Network.